Hello, everybody. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for the new subscribers. I have been really sad and depressed. And I haven't been this way in a long time. But I'm really starting to feel like I cannot keep living in California. It is just an utter cesspool. The worst thing I heard about in the last couple days was what is happening to the animals, particularly the dogs on Skid Row, where mentally ill, mentally ill addicts are overdosing the dogs and bringing them back on Norcan to see if the fentanyl is poisoned. They want to try it out on their dogs first, and then if it doesn't kill the dog, they'll take it. And these groups, thank God for them. The group I saw on James Klug's channel was, well, they have numerous problems. It's not just that, but this group goes out. I think it's called One Day at a Time or starting with one a day. I can't remember the name of the group. It's really difficult. Starts with one day. And they go out and they talk to these people whose dogs are blind from disease, seizing and shivering from giardia or parvo. And the idiots won't give the dogs up, even if they're offered free treatment for the dog so that it may live a healthy life. The dogs on Skid Row are living to be a year or 2 years old and then dying from torture. They have their necks broken. There's dog carcasses all over the place. And one guy was doing surgery on his dog. In the James Klug's video, this bully breed, I don't know if it's a bulldog or what, but it was chained like close to the ground, and there was a carcass right there in its face. And the rescuers thought that it was probably the body of one of her puppies. It can't get bad enough because if you want to take these dogs away from these people, they already have another 11 dogs somewhere to torture in its place. So, this is what society is today. And the little shit who's the city councilman is Isabel Laredo. I think it is Gerardo. Isabel Gerardo. And she is a birthright citizen from the Philippines, and or her family were from the Philippines, and she's allowing this, sitting on her tight little ass, letting this shit go on. The utter suffering of these animals is sickening. I am tired of it. I already saw a video last week about Chai, the pit bull that was murdered by staff in a shelter in Columbus, Ohio, because they wanted to go home early. And what they usually do is inject a needle with barbiturates and cause an overdose. They put it in the vein of the paw, and when it hits the heart, the dog falls over dead. Well, they were killing this dog, beautiful pit bull, by the way, on the floor of the shelter. They didn't even bother to take it to the euthanasia room and put it on the table. They were just stabbing it from above, and they couldn't get the needle in right, so they stabbed her 7 times with no results. So they went for a heart stick and stuck that needle right in her heart to kill her. And she suffered. They have the video on YouTube. Staggered around. It caused her to have a heart attack. And she just lay dead by herself on the floor, which was against the law. And these idiots were arrested, if not for not supposed to be performing that procedure, because you need to be certified, for trying to cover it up. And there is no follow up. So I have no idea. The people did bond out, but I have no idea if they had any punishment at all. And if you wanted me to place a bet based on my experience for 25 years at the Department of Animal Services in San Diego, I'd say not a damn thing happened to him for doing that to that beautiful dog. There was another video, Newsmax, and it showed the dog overdosing, and this crazed maniac kept putting something in its mouth. I suppose it was Norcan or whatever that's called, and this is allowed. And they show that dumbass Karen Bass saying everything's fine with the animals. When we put the people in homes, the dogs go with them. And that's a flat out lie, because the dogs aren't allowed in the shelters. I don't know about if they get into an apartment, but I believe there's a long list to get into an apartment, and they're not going to do anything. You know, that's the worst of humanity to me. Not that someone would be that evil to do it, but that no one would do anything about it. And I contacted the staff at Starts With One and suggested to them that they offer money, $100 for the dog when it's terribly sick. There was one Hispanic guy who had a bully breed, probably a pit bull, who couldn't see. It couldn't even see a tree in front of him because it was blind with some kind of eye disease. He wouldn't give it over to the staff. If I had been there, I'd have offered him $100 for the dog. And if I tried, couldn't get him to give it up, although I think I could, I'd offer him $200. And probably what the staff would say, oh no, we don't want to give him drug money. I'd say, give it to him. Let him have it. If they kill themselves with drugs, it'd be a blessing for the rest of us, and particularly those innocent pets. So the video is called, on Newsmax, is Dogs Are Overdosing in Los Angeles Skid Row. And James Klug's YouTube video is called The Darkest Scandal in Los Angeles That Leadership is Ignoring. And I truly believe Los Angeles is the beginning of our seeing hell on earth. And I think Satan will rise from there. It can't get evil enough. I lived in Hollywood in the 1980s, and I'm lucky I survived it, truly. I had a rogue, disgusting husband who was grooming me for high-end prostitution, and I was so innocent I didn't realize it, because guys like that know how to confuse you. But my main concern right now is these poor creatures, and there's nothing. I have written to any politician I could think of, Republican or Democrat, whether in California or not. I wrote to Sheriff Chad Bianco, and I voted for him yesterday. because he's the kind of guy that may put an end to this. We can only hope. It is a sign of Satan to see these videos. And I'm sorry to bring negativity to you, but I am so done with California, or maybe even this life at all. They're trying, the people in office in Los Angeles can't save the animals, but they got plenty of energy to try to get the local vote for illegal aliens, and it's not right. It's tearing apart our country. They have no right to do what they want to with the country our ancestors fought for. And it's just beyond me. It's just, I can hardly get up. It's just hopeless. I've never known such hopelessness. And I know I'm not always going to feel like this, but my God, who's going to save us from this? Who's going to save us? A lot of young people think that the boomers handed our country over to the illegal aliens, and nothing is further from the truth. We all ran out, voted for Ronald Reagan in 1980 because he was supposed to end illegal immigration. And all these years later, I'm almost the only white person left in my own hometown. And when I go around to the stores, nobody speaks English. It's just disturbing. I don't like the changes that I've seen, but if you are a praying person, I hope you'll pray for this situation and pray for answers to help the animals and to help America. And thank you for listening if you made it this far. I appreciate you, and I will pray for my subscribers. Thank you.